Okay, it's Monday, so it's time to check out how the movies from Friday did at the box office. That was the Now You See Me movie, The Running Man, and Keeper was the other one. So it looks like Now You See Me, Now You Three Me, $21 million. Cool. Then The Running Man, second place, 17 million. And Predator Balance has made 66, but it dropped down to 3. So pretty interesting results here. Then Regretting You, interesting. Black Phone 2 was doing the best for 5 weeks. For 4 weeks, I guess. Did pretty well. Then Keeper dropped all the way down to 2 million. Interesting. Then Nuremberg, wow, all the way down to 7th place, $8 million. That's interesting. Sarah's Oil, well, I'm surprised it's still there. Begonia, Chainsaw Man, finally. Tron Ares, One Battle After Another, cool. Roof Man, which I liked. I did a review on it on my other channel. I really like that movie. It's pretty cool. Good Fortune, didn't watch yet. Cool. Very interesting results here. Here's some reviews for this movie. It has 6.3 stars. That's not really that amazing. Let's see. I'm going to sort these in review date. 110 reviews. And then 9 out of 10 stars. It was a pretty fun sequel. It was a pretty good sequel for a movie about magic. And all of the moments and little twists stayed true to the previous films. My take in most sequels when they introduce a younger cast, new sidekicks, it does feel forced to some extent, and you wouldn't even want to see these characters. Yeah, well, this wasn't the case with this movie. They perfectly fit with the other Horsemen, and for me, this was the best part. Oh, that's good. 4 out of 10 stars. Less magic, many characters. There's less magic and too many characters. Wow. I was looking forward to seeing the original magic from the first members, but it wasn't there. The new generation doesn't have much impact. And there are too few magical scenes. I have no idea why this movie has so many action scenes. And even then, it doesn't have enough action to be called an action movie. Interesting. 7 out of 10 stars. Fun, familiar, and enjoyable. Okay. 2 out of 10 stars. Now I Saw You. Now I cringed a lot. The entire movie script felt as if it had been written by a kid using ChatGPT with a lazy prompt. Write an easily understandable sequel to the Now You See Me movies. Make it Gen Z too. The characters were word vomiting and using all the textbook cliche phrases. Once they start speaking, you could exactly predict the end of their sentences and no actions. Almost like awkward college freshmen trying to seem likable. The characters continuously over-explaining themselves as they ping-pong between cluelessness and over-dramatic emotional sensitivity made even by my tiniest brain cells cringe. Wow. 10 out of 10 stars, just saw it last night. 10 out of 10. High expectations broken. Wow. Now You See Me 1 and 2, my favorite movies of all time. So after 10 years of waiting, my expectations were really high, but the movie did not disappoint. It was much better than expected. The surprising intrigue was amazing. All watching the movie, I felt emotions I haven't felt watching any other movie. In my opinion, a must watch. God, these reviews are all over the place. 3 out of 10 stars. The worst one of all. 10 out of 10 stars. Stunning. 6 out of 10 stars. Reunion, but with bad plot. 4 out of 10. Boring. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. 3, 5, 4, 7, 5, 4, 3, 4, 8. Jesus. I'm not mad, just disappointed. That is so weird to, what a range of reviews. Mostly, good and bad. That's weird. See, I didn't like them because I thought they were they have that a show-off kind of feeling to them. Everything they do was to be cool or whatever. And it's the actors are acting. Whoa. But I couldn't get into those movies. Now we can look at some of the reviews for The Running Man. 163 reviews. 5 out of 10 stars. A new run. Let's see. I don't know either. I was more disappointed than impressed, unfortunately. There are a few interesting aspects with the two-class society and surveillance, or rather the critique of it. And I also thought the retro electronic gadgets were pretty cool, but somehow it lacked that final gripping touch. It never really became exciting or gripping for me. Okay, it got a bit more exciting towards the end. The set pieces, which weren't bad, had so much more potential in terms of action, but either it never really got going, or it was over too quickly. It's hard to describe. Yeah, it felt like everything was held back. A shame. I would have found John Woo or the Crank / Gamer team more interesting as directors. These days, I don't even expect a bombastic showdown in action movies like they used to. In my opinion, everything is often wasted and used up beforehand. Of course, there are always exceptions. Oh, and I've never read the novel. Yeah, this movie, the new one, is based off the book, not the old movie, apparently. And I think people who saw the movie are expecting it to be like that. And this happens to actually follow the book, apparently, instead. Like, The Long Walk follows the book, but it changes it for the movie. And it didn't do well. They shouldn't have done that. This, I don't know how this is going to go. If it's based off of the book and the book wasn't good, I mean, I guess people like the story, so the book should be fine, right? But if it's not good, then this movie is based off it. The movie's not going to be good. And perhaps that's why they changed it for the 1982 one or 85, whatever year. They changed the story for that because it was better. And now the new movie is the original story. And they're going to be like, yeah, that's why we changed it. It's not that good. So we'll see if that really affects the outcome of this film. This one says 5 out of 10 stars. Dull, disappointing remake. Wow. While I realized that the Arnold version drastically departs from the original Stephen King novel, it was far more fun and creative than this remake. We spend the better amount of the film with our hero not fighting off the hunters, which the original version is so cleverly the creation of these outlandish characters created to appeal to a dystopian TV audience, but instead spending the better part of this film seeing Ben Richards holed up in whole hotel rooms, in cars, or on airplanes. I think it was a mistake to make the hunt 30 days. The film simply cannot find ways to keep action going over that stretch of time. I also never had the dislike for our villain Killian like I did for the smarmy Richard Dawson creation, which was a brilliant critique of the over-the-top TV game show host. This opportunity was lost. Interesting. Well, 5 out of 10. First half was amazing, and then the third act comes along. 3 out of 10 stars. No. Even Powell could not say this dystopian, violent, negative movie. It was very unnecessary. Does every movie set in the future have to be awful? Can nothing good or positive happen for humanity? Can we not end up in a good place? I wish Hollywood start appealing to our better angels more. I've always thought about that why isn't there a movie where something like good happens or whatever, or like a reverse villain, or or something. I don't know. Like what this is saying. It's just like everything ends in horror. What if there was a movie where they figured it out? And a lot of movies can kind of teach you in life. So if they test a movie and they go, hey, you could do it this way, and the movie's really good because it opens up everyone's mind. It's like, oh, huh. So I agree with this review. This one is 4 out of 10 stars. Top 10 worst of 2025. Jesus. 10 out of 10. Popcorn activated. See, I thought, that's what I was saying. It feels like a good, fun movie, right? But I never saw the original, and I never read the book. So for me, and I don't know what percentage of people that is, this is going to be either, like, we have nothing to base it on. If it has all the beats of a story, it's going to be good. But if maybe we've seen the better version already, or if some people have seen the better version, then yeah, this isn't going to work. 8 out of 10 stars. Wow. 3 out of 10. Again, look at these reviews. 4 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 1 out of 10. 3 out of 10 stars. 5 out of 10 stars. 7 out of 10. What in the world? Look at this one. I like the Arnold one better. I wasn't bored. I like the Arnold one better. My least favorite Edgar Wright movie, but probably never watch again. 6 out of 10, or as the kids say, 6, 7. I guess my review was too short. It was an entertaining movie, but I only went to see it because of Edgar Wright. And here's a couple of reviews for Keeper. Osgood Perkins. So I'm not too familiar with his stuff. Seems like he has a good track record, though. 47 reviews. 10 out of 10 stars. Worth the experience. I didn't go in completely blind to this movie, but didn't dig too deep either. Neon released a few clips to some of the horror outlets that gave away a couple jump scares. God, I'm so sick of jump scares. Is there no other way to scare someone? You can do a lot of scary stuff without that. And I've seen good examples of that. Overall, I would recommend this movie. I found it more interesting than The Monkey. Oh, yeah. But not as good as, which is another Stephen King story, but not as good as some of Perkins' other efforts. It does just enough to keep you guessing and keeps attention going throughout. It aesthetically reminded me of Gretel and Hansel, which I loved. The atmosphere and tension building are great. I also appreciate the soundtrack very much. The only reason I could rate this film higher was I felt the climax was a little rushed and lackluster. Okay. 10 out of 10 stars, relationship folk horror. 10 out of 10 stars, bad, very bad. Jeez. 5 out of 10 stars, Gretel in Danger. 1 out of 10 stars, the worst horror movie I've seen. Is that first review fake? That, I don't know, that's weird. 4 out of 10, Exposition the Movies. 2 out of 10. What? These are really... That's a lot of bad reviews in a row. An obnoxious woman who really put me off. 2 out of 10, I really don't write... I usually don't write IMDb reviews, but I need to warn you. Jeez. It lacked everything. Compelling characters, a storyline with depth, a plot, everything. I just don't understand why this movie was made with a message. It was so bizarre. It might just be too complex then. There has to be something there, like a plot and all that. Tatiana Maslany gives us masterclass performance. Keeper is a mixed bag of a film. Okay. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. 6 out of 10. 3 out of 10. What is going on? 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Spooky. A little confusing. Genuinely creeped me out. The story is vague, so I wouldn't definitely recommend it. But then it must be like a ghost thing, you know, curses, whatever. Oh my god. 5 out of 10. 7 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Award for the worst movie of the last 30 years. To be able to think of these phrases, it must be really bad. Boring plot, pointless, not any scary scenes at all, no plot until 70 minutes. Bad cast and even worse characters. Random mess. 22 more? Oh no, I don't want to see all those. That's terrible. What? That's a shame. These are, so yeah, anyways, that's very interesting though. Now You See Me. These are gonna last another week. There's no way that these are gonna last another week. I think these two are going to drop down in the next week. Predator Badlands will stay in 3rd place, while the new movie takes these 2 places. Keeper, Nuremberg. Begonia might stay. I don't know. Predator Badlands is kind of making... And it's PG-13. See? And it's like a little more harder, whatever, than Now You See Me. So I think these two are just because it came out, right? But I mean, I think these are gonna drop in the next week, all the way down. See, because these are the movies that are coming out on Friday, and I think like Rental Family. What is that? Sisu, Road to Revenge, Wicked for Good. Wicked might knock everything out and hold it for a while, because you know this is like a soft kind of movie in a way. So, but to knock the other movies out, I think Predator Badlands will stay there until, I mean, Zootopia 2. Yeah, see, Zootopia 2, which is coming out on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And Eternity from A24. God, they are pumping out movies. Zootopia 2 is going to do really well. That one, and then The Thing with Feathers. There's are not really intense movies coming out. All right. Well, that's it for all the movies that came out on Friday. Comment down below if you saw any of them or which ones surprised you that didn't make it on the board of success, I guess, and definitely flopped for sure. And maybe what you think the reason is, like the main reason why these movies aren't doing so well. Is it the running time? The Running Man? No, is it the running time? Or is it just burnt out? Maybe there's burnt out on movies. There's just it's too many, like they're ruining movies. I don't know. It seems like that sometimes, doesn't it?